Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress. As you may know, I also have a second channel called Chess to Progress. The idea was that Chess to Impress would be aimed at more advanced players and Chess to Progress at more novice players, improving players. It was hard to get much traction on Chess to Progress. The number of views was quite low and did not really weigh up against the time and effort I put into making videos there. So I asked the viewers, should I merge the channels, and based on your feedback, Chess to Progress and Chess to Impress will now be merged into one channel, Chess to Impress. I will keep the Viewers Game series going that I started on Chess to Progress. I made 66 videos there on Viewers Games that were sent to me by email. And now every Sunday at 9 PM Central European Time, which is 3 PM Eastern Standard Time, I will post a Viewers Game on Chess to Impress. And if you would like your game analyzed, then you can send it to me by email to classroomchess64@gmail.com. So this is number 68 in the Viewers Game series. 66 of those are on Chess to Progress. I posted one on Chess to Impress and this is the second one. As I said, from now on they will be on Chess to Impress. This one is from Ricardo from Italy and he says, "Hello, I'm Ricardo and today I played a game against my friend Asan from Iran. We both live and work in Lille, in France, the north of France, where the game was played. I had black and he had white. No time limitations. Indeed, the game lasted almost 3 hours. Hassan loves to think a lot, but this time he gave plenty of thinking time to me too. So it was an over-the-board game. We don't see too many of those, and we don't see too many of those lasting 3 hours. So this is a proper classical game of chess. It's fair to say that Hassan and Ricardo are both improving players, so I will not go into deep variations but focus more on the basic strategy and tactics of chess. Let's look at the game. Asan opened d4, knight f6 from Ricardo, e3, e6. Asan developed his knight and bishop d6, and there's probably the first comment I have to make. A rule of thumb is to not put your pieces in front of the central pawns. Yes, I know that there are Grandmaster games in which the Grandmasters put a bishop in front of a central pawn, but only Grandmasters can do it. We should not do that. We should not put our pieces in front of our central pawns. They want to be pushed up the board to get influence in the center. Queen d3 from white, a6, develop the knight, and bishop b4 check. And there is the second comment, the second rule of thumb. Try to avoid playing with the same piece twice in the opening. Okay, in this case it's not bad because now the d pawn is free to come up the board. But why not play bishop b4 in one move if you can? It's check, bishop was developed, and now Ricardo takes on a3. If you wanted to take on a3 you could have done it on the previous move. You lose another move. White got this bishop d2 developing move for free. Here queen takes a3 makes a lot of sense to keep the pawn structure intact, but white decided to take with the pawn. b5, a4, Ricardo took, and bishop b4. Nice idea, taking away black's castling rights by controlling the f8 square. Knight d5 from Ricardo to challenge that bishop, and now white thought he had a clever move with queen e4. It looks like quite clever because you cannot take that bishop because then your rook in the corner is hanging. That is an exchange for white. The knight is pinned, but black could have still won a piece by kicking the queen. Kicking the queen back, and then when the queen moves, then you take on b4 and win a piece. Ricardo did not see that, and I'm not blaming him. That's not an easy tactic to see. He played knight c6, developing a piece. Not bad. And now the bishop retreated to a3. And now f5. So he saw the move, he played it one move too late. Queen went to h4, offering a queen trade. But Ricardo played knight c3. White gave a check. And this is the only legal move. That's an easy one. And then queen went to h6. Queen f6, good move. h4, white is starting an attack on the king side. Black should really develop his bishop, finish your development, but Ricardo decides to play that knight again to e4. h5, that pawn was taken. Queen takes, we check, and here the best move is queen f7 interposing. But Ricardo made a tactical error. He played queen g6, and that loses a rook by force. Do you see it? It's very simple. White just takes the queen. You have to take back, and then your rook is unprotected on h8. White wins a full rook, but the game goes on. King f7, g4, king g7 hitting the rook, and the rook goes to f8, protected by the bishop. F takes g4, knight e5. Finally the bishop is developed. Rook f7 check, king h6, and white also develops his last piece, and knight takes e5. Ricardo takes the knight on e5. Now when somebody takes your piece, the first thing you have to look at, can I take that piece back? d takes e5 is a fine move, but now it was white's turn to blunder. He saw that his rook was attacked. He played rook e7, just giving a piece back. Knight c4. Ricardo says, thank you very much for that piece. I'm back in the game. I lost a rook, but I got a piece back. And a second blunder from white. We often see that, not only from improving players, but often we see a blunder being made followed by another one. Rook takes d7 was played, and that gives up the bishop. And Ricardo took it. White took another pawn. Bishop d5. In the last few moves, white, who was a rook up, has given away a knight and a bishop. And this game is back on. King e2. Knight back into the game, hitting the rook. White gives a check. King can only go to g5. And then c4. White is forking these two pieces, but is overlooking that black had attacked the white rook. Sometimes backward moves are harder to see. Now a very creative move from Ricardo. He plays knight g3 check, forking those two. And if you take it, which is the best move, then you can take that bishop with an attack on the rook. Very creative. And not bad. White now saves his rook on c5 with check. King has to move, and then he saves his other rook. Good play from both players. And now two black pieces are hanging, but you can solve both problems. How can you do that? By just giving a check, saving that piece with a tempo. King moves, and then you bring your knight to safety. But Ricardo did not see that. He played knight c3 check. And now white should play king d3, and still both black pieces are attacked. Black can play knight e4, hitting the rook. And then we could get a rook endgame. Rook takes, knight takes, d takes, and this is about equal. 5 pawns each in a rook endgame. But after knight c3 check, Ihsan did not play king d3, he went to f2. And that's a mistake. Bishop f3, good move. And black has now saved his two pieces after all. Rook f1. And here is a lovely juicy fork. Knight e4 check. Picking up that rook. King g1. And now a very impressive move from Ricardo. Instead of taking the material, he goes for mate. He plays rook h8. That rook makes his first move and immediately threatens checkmate on h1. Nice move, Ricardo. For your level, that is a really impressive move. Going for mate instead of going for material gain. There's no way out for white. He took on f3, had to sacrifice an exchange. G takes, but the white king is still in a mating net. Rook a5 doesn't help, of course. And now we see the forced checkmate. f2 check. king stepped aside, check, king e2, and promotion, and it's checkmate. The knight takes the d2 square away. Nice win from Ricardo. Very exciting game, lots happening, some strategic and tactical learning points, and a very exciting finish. Thank you, Ricardo, for sending me this game. Hope you enjoyed Ricardo's game. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel. Please leave a comment. As I said, if you want to see more viewers' games, 66 of them are in a playlist on the Chess to Progress channel. The channel is closed, but the videos are still there. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.